Wait, is it, wait, Carlos, can you?
Shabbat Shalom, everyone in live stream land. We're really happy to be with you this Shabbat as we begin our service. We rise, page 103.
You're going to be able to follow along, by the way. We're using the Siddur Lev Shalem. If you haven't, it's available through our website, by the way, at Generosity of the Rabbinical Assembly. You can find the service for Shabbat morning. You can use any prayer book, of course. That's the beauty of the Jewish prayer experience. If you have any Siddur, any prayer book, you can follow along if you know the pages. So we're going to begin with the Birchot HaShachar, page 103 in the Siddur.
Amen. Amen.
Yitgadal, v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'alma tivrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon u'yomechon u'chayei dekol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'bizman kari v'imru.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam U'amei Amaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitala
rise for Baruch Hu, page 149 if you're following along. You may be seated.
We continue on page 150, second paragraph. In
153. Page 154. you, as we're preparing for the Shema, to take a deep breath, breathe in the joy of Shabbat, the delight of celebrating Shabbat with whoever you're with, in your home, or just you, with us as our live stream, Facebook Live, Temple Aliyah Shabbat community. Take a deep breath. As we prepare for the Shema, we often close our eyes, right? We want to be as focused as possible on the words of the Shema, and usually we put our hand over our eyes to help us make sure our eyes stay closed so that we can stay focused on the words of the Shema. And now, all of a sudden, we live in a world where we're not supposed to touch our faces. We're not supposed to put our hand over our eyes, on our face, to close our eyes. And so it's up to us to find other ways to stay focused. We have to make ourselves close our eyes, make ourselves take that deep breath, make ourselves find ways to connect to the words of the Shema, even without being able to put our hand over our eyes. So we take that deep breath in, try to breathe out the stress, breathe out everything else that's going on in our lives, and just breathe in the joy of Shabbat, breathe in the words of Shema, that feeling of community, even from afar. And we continue and prepare for the Shema by, if you're wearing a talit, you'll bring together the four corners of the tzitzit, and we prepare for the Shema on page 154 at the bottom of the page.
Shema.
we join together for the beginning of the Amidah, page 159.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon
continue praying to ourselves through page 166. Page 167, Kaddish Shalem. Amen. Amen.
Here's where things are going to get a little bit different this morning, right? We don't have our minion here. Rabbi Schaefer, you're going to come forward, please. We actually have gloves for you up here, down here actually. You don't want yet, right up here on the table. All right, you're going to be handling our Torah scroll today. And so rather than have honor people up here, you're all honored for this Aliyah to be able to open the ark. So I want you to imagine that you're going to go up shortly and be able to open it. When we get to that moment, Rabbi Schaefer will open it. He'll take out the first Torah scroll. We're actually going to take out two today. You'll see how we're going to do that. And we'll explain a little bit about that second Torah scroll. But we're going to page 168. You can remain seated if you like until we open the ark officially. Page 168 in the Siddur Lev Shalom in Kamocha.
Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim, Ki lecha v'ratachnu Melech El Ram
Benisa Adon Olamim. Vayehi b'tzo ha'aron vayomer Moshe Kuma Adonai v'yafutzu oilecha v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha ki mitzion tetzei Torah ki mitzion tetzei Torah u'devar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch shenatan Torah Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
It's a beautiful reading in our Siddur, actually, upon opening the Ark. Provides a number of options in the Siddur Lev Shalem. But on this particular Shabbat, I think it brings new meaning in terms of our lives, finding appreciation and newness, and finding the things that we have ignored perhaps. Open my eyes, God. Help me to perceive what I have ignored, to uncover what I have forsaken, to find what I have been searching for. Remind me that I don't have to journey far to discover something new, for miracles surround me, blessings and holiness abound, and you are near. On this day in which you are sequestered at home, to look around and find those miracles of life. Not always easy, but they are there, I promise you. If you see life a little bit differently, like Hagar, who found that well when her eyes could be opened, it was always there. We find new blessings on this Shabbat as we continue Be'anarachetz.
Be'anarachetz, Belishme Kadisha, Kadisha Yakira, Anai Martush Befan, Be'anarachetz, Be'anarachetz, Belishme Kadisha, Kadisha Yakira, Anai Martush Befan, Yehi Ra'ava Kodama, T'tiftach libi be'oraita, v'tashli mishali te'libi, v'libadecho amach Yisrael, l'tav l'chaim ve'lishma. Amen.
Rabbi Adam makes his way down. These are the words of the Shema. By the way, point in history in which it was forbidden to recite the words of the Shema under the Romans, tradition has it that after the Roman centuries would leave, to make sure that the Jews had not been praying these prayers of oneness to God, that they inserted this prayer before the Torah service in affirmation to fulfill the words of the Shema. We're going to first hear from Chazan Mimi and then repeat after her.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadol Adonai, Tionem Romem Hashemo Yachdav,
בשמיים ובארץ, כי טוב בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה, ועמית תעשה לכל לראש. רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להקריב קדוש הוא. רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו.
This morning we're reading the parsha, actually a double parsha, Vayakel and Pekudei, and I realized I know where I was last year when we read Parshat Vayakel. Actually, I was right here, my very first time at Temple Aliyah, my first time meeting many of you. Such an incredible weekend, and it's exciting for me to be back at Parshat Vayakel, especially at a time that I am so happy to feel so connected to community. And I spoke at that time, a year ago, about how Vayakel is a parsha about creating community, literally building community, building the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the Israelites' temporary temple as they're wandering through the desert. And the Mishkan required many different materials and skills and time for people to donate. And whoever had anything gave it. We're told that the Israelites were so generous, right? We talked last year about what components come together to create a community, and a community that's not just based on physical objects and a building, but something intangible. A community that's based on people and the connection we have to one another. And today too, just like the Israelites at that time offered, whoever had what materials and time and skills, they offered it, today too, we offer whatever it is that we can to our community. When I scroll through Facebook, which I think is now our new community center, when I scroll through Facebook, I see people posting messages of support for one another, posting messages offering to talk to someone who needs a friend, people even offering to teach different skills by Zoom or by Facebook Live, saying, I know how to bake challah, let me show you how to do that by Facebook Live. I know how to play guitar, let me show you how to do that by Facebook Live or by Zoom. People offering whatever skills, whatever talents they have to create that sense of community, that connection, just like the Israelites did in building the tabernacle. And in this week's Parsha's description of the Israelites' overwhelming willingness to give, we have the phrase nidava baboker, that the Israelites gave every morning. You might recognize that word boker, morning, and when it's repeated like that, that's how we know it means each and every morning. They never missed a morning. They never missed an opportunity to give, the Israelites. And it's easy for us to take things for granted that happen every day. When something happens each and every morning, it's so easy to forget about how special it is. Right? Our regular routine, things like getting in your car and driving to work. You might not think about how special that is. Meeting a friend for dinner at a restaurant, attending an event, even just coming to Temple Aliyah for a Shabbat service and being together. It's so easy to take it for granted. I'll tell you, I know that I'm guilty of that. Those things that we do, baboker, that we do each and every morning, each and every day, it's so easy to lose sight of how truly special they are. But we're told that God, who is really the recipient of the Israelites giving baboker, the recipient of the Israelites' gifts every morning, didn't take the gifts for granted. Dina Weiss, who is a scholar at the Hadar Institute in Manhattan, writes that God didn't take those gifts for granted because God was once on the other side. The language of baboker, that repetition, is similar to the repetition that we find in the story of creation, right? The days of creation, that God created the world day by day, each blade of grass, each cloud in the sky, one by one, day by day. And we know when we look at a blade of grass or a cloud in the sky that God created those things, but we don't always think about it. Right? It's easy, just like other things that come to us, baboker, each and every morning, each and every day, it's easy to take it for granted. And I think now we have a special opportunity to notice those small, godly creations. Right? We may not be going to restaurants or events right now, but we can go on walks outside. We can open our windows. We can notice each blade of grass, each cloud in the sky, each tree, each flower, and we will remember not to take it for granted, because God created those things one by one, each and every day, just like the Israelites gave towards the creation of the Mishkan, their temporary community, each and every day. The time we're living through really serves as a reminder for us to be grateful for all the little things that we do have. The people we love, whether we can be physically with them right now or not, the technology that allows us to remain connected to one another from afar, the Temple Aliyah community that is so warm even when we can't be physically together, and of course the natural beauty in the world around us. These are the things that we can experience baboker, each and every morning, each and every day. So you'll hear that phrase as we can start reading Torah now. If you have a Chumash or some way to follow along in the Torah reading, we're reading from Exodus chapter 35, verse 1. And if you have the Eitz Chaim Chumash at home, that's page 552. But if you're looking for it elsewhere, again, it's Exodus chapter 35, verse 1. We're also, because we are having a virtual minyan, we know that there are many of you watching from home, but in this room there are only 4. We're going to use a special blessing that ends with la'asok b'divrei Torah, for reading the Torah this morning. It's a blessing of how thankful we are getting to learn Torah together. We'll join together in that blessing now.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Vayakel Moshe kol adat b'nei Yisrael vayomer aleihem eila devarim asher tziva Adonai la'asot otam sheshet yamim te'aseh melacha ubayom hashvi'i yeh lachem kodesh Shabbat Shabbaton l'Adonai kol ha'oseh bo
continuing now with the third Aliyah, which can be found on page 554 if you're following along in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, and otherwise it's Exodus chapter 35, verse 21. The fourth Aliyah is Exodus chapter 35, verse 30, and if you're following along in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, that'll be on page 555.
V'lachol
will now read the fifth Aliyah, which is Exodus chapter 36, verse 8. And if you're following along in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, that can be found on page 557.
ויעשו כל חכם לב בעושי המלאכה את המשכן 10 יריעות 6 מושזר ותכלת וארגמן ותולעת שני קרובים מעשה חושב עשה אותם אורך היריעה האחת 28 באמה ורוחב 4 באמה היריעה האחת מידה אחת לכל היריעות ויחבר את 5 היריעות אחת אל אחת 5 יריעות חיבר אחת אל אחת ויעש לולאות תכלת על שפת היריעה האחת מקצה במחברת כן עשה בשפת היריעות הקיצונה במחברת השנית 50 לולאות עשה ביריעה האחת ו50 לולאות עשה בקצה היריעה אשר במחברת השנית מקבילות הלולאות אחת אל אחת ויעש 50 כרסי זהב ויחבר את היריעות אחת אל אחת בקרסים ויהי המשכן אחד ויעש יריעות עזים לאוהל על המשכן 12 יריעות עשה אותם אורך היריעה האחת 30 באמה ו4 אמות רוחב היריעות האחד מידה אחת ל12 יריעות ויחבר את 5 היריעות לבד ואת 6 היריעות לבד ויעש לולאות 50 על שפת היריעות היריעה הקיצונה במחברת ו50 לולאות עשה על שפת היריעה החוברת השנית ויעש כרסי נחושת 50 לחבר את האוהל להיות אחד ויעש מכסה לאוהל אורות אלים מאוד עמים ומכסה אורות חשים מלמעלה.
Yasher Koach. The sixth Aliyah is Exodus chapter 36, verse 20. If you're following along in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, that's page 558.
Mishulavot achat el echat kein asa
transition to our prayer for healing. We're going to now offer blessings for strength and comfort, whether this is for you, for a loved one, anyone you know. We pray on behalf of people who are dealing with physical issues, recovering from surgery, many of you. For others who are dealing with depression, hard times that we have right now, eating disorders, whatever we believe we bring strength and comfort. Those afflicted by the COVID-19, all others who are ill, we turn our prayers to the Misha Berach. We join together.
Berach avotenu mekor leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We're offering blessings of healing and strength for Naomi Bat Sarah, Elon Shayot, Beverly Bowie, Leah Bat Moshe, Susan Davis, Tina Bat Yocheved, Vivian Jesus, Harvey Tut, Leigh Ben Zelek, Ben Ruta, Tzvi Ben Ada, Chaim Ben Sarah, Rivka Beth Bat Carmela, Tova Bat Hannah, Stephen Lowenstein, Tova Bat Yudit Rachel, Sarah Leah Bat Asnev Belka, Hasihinda Bat Gelina, Abraham Ben Zebulun, Aya Gabriela Bat Galia, Leah Bat Abraham Sarah, Nina Bat Daniel Zipporah, Sarah Bat Elisheva, Golda Bat Sim, Deborah Bat Meir, Nisan Meir, Dalia Bat Shoshana, Bible Ben Herschel, Pearl Perlman. Any of the clergy here, if you have a name you'd like to add? Anybody? Anybody? At home, I want you to say the names aloud of anybody that you're praying for. It's for you. Feel the strength coming inward. Let those names of people who need our blessings of strength and comfort, may it be delivered to them as we continue with the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach imotenu mekor haberacha leivotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We'll continue now with the 7th Aliyah. This is Exodus chapter 37, verse 1. And if you're following along in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, it's page 559.
Vayas lo zer zahav
We're now switching to our second Torah scroll. We've finished our 7th Aliyah, and so we're now moving on to the Maftir Aliyah, which will be read from a different scroll.
All right, Rabbi Schaefer's going to take out the second Torah. So why do we have a second Torah? I'm going to explain that in a moment. But here's my question for you. Are you losing track of days? Losing track of time? Forget? Is it hard to, what day is it? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? No. It can't be only Tuesday because I've had the kids home for all this time. I know the parents that are dealing with that. Or how do I keep track? And I think now you understand the movies, that reflect people who've been stranded on a desert island and how they keep track from one day to another because one day blends into the other. We keep losing track of time. And time is so important for the human condition. We know that. We have circadian rhythms, and if we lose track of time, our souls become disfigured, if you will. They become off time, and we lose a sense of what it means to be human as well. And so, how does that tie into our second Torah reading? Because chapter 12 of Exodus, and if you go and you'll turn your Torah text, whatever you're following in, to chapter 12. If you have the Eitz Chaim text, you'll find it on page 380. This is the beginning of Jewish time. This here, the words are, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, this month shall mark for you the beginning of months. It is the beginning of a real calendar of where the Jews are going to begin to count the days, and they're going to begin to need to do that in order to celebrate holidays, and in order to create the rhythms of life, rather than just that nomadic existence of people who just wander from one day to another. And so this is the beginning of the calendar. According to the tradition, this month that we're about to start, we're going to do the blessing of the new month shortly. This is the beginning of the months. This is month number 1. Now, you may be thinking, wait a minute, Rosh Hashanah is not for 6 months. Truth of the matter is that the rabbis changed the beginning of the year to Tishrei, to what we call Rosh Hashanah. But for the longest time, this was the beginning of our year, was the beginning of the month of Passover, the beginning of the month of the Exodus. Now, when we celebrate Passover, you are reenacting the very meal that the Israelites ate while they were in Egypt. We're reenacting exactly as they did. In fact, they had the matzah, they had maror, and they had the Passover offering. That's all they had. And they were told to gather together on that night and not to go out, and to be able to eat these things in haste. By the way, there's many people, of course, who believe that matzah was not invented until the Israelites left Egypt, that idea that didn't have time for the dough to rise. But we know from the text and what we're reading today, Israelites are told to eat matzah the night they left in Egypt. But here's the interesting part. Well, at the Seder, we talk about and we mention the plagues themselves. We really don't experience them in full, except maybe this year a little bit different. Maybe this year. Everybody has been saying that these are one of the plagues. And it's interesting, it's falling right before Passover. If you think about all the plagues that the Israelites had, 9 of them up till this moment, the last one being that of darkness. And by the way, it says that there was darkness throughout the land, except in the homes of the Israelites where there was light. Well, how could there have been light in the homes of the Israelites? It says, according to the rabbis, that it was so dark that when even the Egyptians went to light their lamps of oil, that the darkness could not be permeated by the light. It couldn't break it apart, no matter how they lit it. That's how thick the darkness was. But in the homes of the Israelites, there was light. Why? Because they understood about the sense of oppression. They understood and had an appreciation, perhaps, of what life was going to bestow upon them, an anticipation, perhaps, of what might be better in the future, and there was light in their homes. According to one Hasidic tradition, it's the light of their souls, actually, that lit their homes. Isn't that a beautiful image, that our souls can light our homes? And you're going to be doing that in these coming days and weeks in terms of being at home. And so we are now in that period that's leading up to the actual Exodus itself, in the timeline. And in the reading today, God tells Moses and Aaron that the Israelites are supposed to take their Paschal offering on the 10th of the month, be 10 days into our month. And that at that time, that they should check it to make sure it's worthy of offering up to God. And then the night that they leave, they eat that sacrifice and they wait until the liberation. I know many of you are going to wait for the liberation for our homes. Your Passover Seders are going to be quite different this year. And we're going to help you figure out how to cope with that. You will not have the large dinners at your homes with extended family. You may not even have an 8-course meal like you're used to having. You're going to have a sense of what the Israelites perhaps really did experience in the land of Egypt. And maybe we're going to have a sense and think about what does it mean to look forward to liberation. It's a whole new experience. We're so glad that we could actually be in your homes to be able to follow and to carry out this Torah reading. We're going to go to the second Torah scroll. If you haven't noticed, by the way, Rabbi Schaefer is following in the actual Torah scroll itself. Hazan Mimi is reading from the text itself. And we're figuring out how to keep a sense of order and of ritual for all of us in these unusual times. So chapter 12, the reading from the second Torah scroll for Shabbat HaChodesh. Rabbi Schaefer puts away that second
Lift.
Torah, so we can wrap it up.
Okay.
It's okay. And he's going to then prepare for the Haftarah. You're going to be able to find the Haftarah. If you're in the Eitz Chaim, by the way, you will find it on page 1292. You have to go to the back of the book. If you're following, by the way, in a Bible, this you need more than just the Chumash, the Torah text. But if you look in the book of Ezekiel, go through the 5 books of Moses, go through, you're going to go through Joshua, Judges, you're going to keep going and going, and you're going to find eventually Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. And if you find Ezekiel, chapter 46 is where Rabbi Adam is going to begin. Ezekiel, by the way, is a prophet in exile who dreams about the return, the rebuilding of the temple. The focus in the Haftarah itself is on the Passover that they experienced in Egypt. And then it's going to speak of a future Pesach, Pesach La'atid, when there'll be liberation, the Messianic era. By the way, this is the transition in your Passover Seder from the first part of the Seder to the second part of the Seder. When we welcome Elijah the prophet, the second part of the Seder is all about the redemption of the future. It's all about Pesach La'atid and what we want for a future world. That's why we welcome Elijah, who is supposed to announce the Messiah. That's why we have certain prayers towards the end and eating of the afikomen, which is the bread of redemption as well. So we think about future redemption, and again, appropriate for those of us all who are sequestered, that we think about that ultimate redemption. This will clear long before Mashiach is expected, and we pray that it'll be swift and short and quick in its coming. So, Rabbi Adam, are you ready? You're going to read the blessing and then the Haftarah. Thank you.
Just as a nice note, not only do we welcome Elijah every end of Pesach on the theory that that might be the time Mashiach is coming, but we also do it every week at Shabbat. So tonight, I believe at 7:50 p.m., we are actually having a citywide Eliyahu Hanavi moment. So as we come and bring Havdalah and we bring Shabbat to a close, if you want to step outside and join as many of your neighbors as possible in singing Eliyahu Hanavi, you can have in mind not only your Pesach Seder, not only the end of Shabbat, but also the Haftarah that we're here about to read. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher batorah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'invi'ei ha'emet v'atzedek ko amar Adonai Elohim shar Hechatzer hapnimit hapone kadim yeh sagor sheshet yemei hamaseh uvayom hashabat yipateach uvayom hachodesh yipateach uva hanasi derech ulam hashar michutz ve'amad al mezuzot hashar ve'asu hakohanim ve'al olato ve'et shlomav v'ishtachaveh el miftan hashar vayitzav v'shar lo yisager ad ha'arev v'ishtachavu im ha'am ha'aretz petach hashar hahu b'shabbatot ובחודשים לפני אדוני והעולה אשר יקריב אנשים לאדוני Bayom HaShabbat Shisha Kvasim Temimim Va'ayil Tamim Umincha Efa La'ayil Ukvasim Mincha Tachat Yado V'Shemen In La'efa Uvayom HaChodesh Par Ben Bakar Temimim V'Sheshet Kvasim Ve'ayil Temimim Yiyu Ve'efa La'far Ve'efa La'ayil Yaseh Mincha Ve'la Kvasim Ka'asher Tasi Yado V'Shemen Hin La'efa Uvevo Hanasi Derech Ulam Hashar Yavo Uvidarko Yetzeh Uvevo Am Haaretz Livnei Adonai B'moadim Haba Derech Shar Tzafon Leishtachavot Yetzeh Derech Shar Negev Ve'haba Derech Shar Negev Yetzeh Derech Shar Tzafona Lo Yashuv Derech Hashar Asher Bavo Ki Nichecho Yetzeh Ve'hanasi B'tocham Bevo'am Yavo Uv'tzetam Yetzeu Baruch Atahu Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Tzur Kol HaOlamim Tzadik B'chol HaDorot Ha'el HaNe'eman HaOmer Ve'oseh HaMedaber U'Mekayem Shekol Dvarav Emet V'Tzedek Ne'eman Atahu Adonai Eloheinu V'ne'emanim Dvarecha V'davar echad midvarecha achor lo yashuv rekam ki el melech ne'eman v'rachaman ata baruch ata Adonai ha'el ha'ne'eman b'chol dvarav rachem al Tzion ki hi beit chayenu v'la'aluvad nefesh toshia b'mehera b'yameinu baruch ata Adonai Mesameach Tzion bevanea. Samchenu Adonai Eloheinu be'Eliyahu hanavi avdecha u'malchut beit David meshichecha b'meira yavo v'yagel libenu al kiso lo yeshev zar v'lo yinchalu od acherim et kvodo ki v'shem koshecha nishbata lo shelo yichbe nero leolam va'ed baruch ata Adonai Magen David Al HaTorah Ve'al HaAvodah Ve'al HaNevi'im Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh Shenatata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu Liktusha Ve'limnucha Lechavod Ultifaret Al HaKol Adonai Eloheinu Anachnu Modim Lach U'Mevarchim Otach Yibarach Shimcha Befi Kol Chai Tamid Leolam Va'ed Baruch Ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yasher Koach to Rabbi Schaefer for reading the Haftarah, as well as one of our Aliyot this morning in the Torah reading. We're now transitioning back to the Siddur, back to our prayer book, and we'll continue with a prayer for our country on page 177. Our God and God of our ancestors, with mercy accept our prayer on behalf of our country and its government. Pour out your blessing upon this land, upon its inhabitants, upon its leaders, its judges, officers, and officials who faithfully devote themselves to the needs of the public. Help them understand the rules of justice you have decreed, so that peace and security, happiness and freedom will never depart from our land. We'll continue now with a prayer for the state of Israel, Avinu Shebashamayim, page 178.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Zor Yisrael Go'alo, Ba'arech Medinas Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu. Avinu Shebashamayim, Zor Yisrael Go'alo, Ba'arech Medinas Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu.
Avinu Shebashamayim, stronghold and redeemer of the people Israel, bless the state of Israel that it may be the beginning of our redemption. Shield it with your love, spread over it the shelter of your peace. Guide its leaders and advisors with your light and your truth. Help them with your good counsel. Strengthen the hands of those who defend our holy land. Deliver them, crown their efforts with triumph. Bless the land with peace and its inhabitants with lasting joy. And let us say, Amen.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Zor Yisrael Go'alo, Ba'arech Medinas Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu.
As Rabbi Vogel mentioned earlier, we are announcing a new month today, so we'll have Rabbi Schaefer stand with the Torah, and Chazan Mimi will lead us in the prayer for the new month on page 180.
Yehi ratzon lefanecha, Adonai Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu, shechadesh aleinu et hachodesh haba, letova v'livracha, v'titen lanu chayim arukim, chayim
Chodesh Nisan yeh b'yom chamishi haba aleinu v'al kol Yisrael l'tova. The beginning of the new month of Nisan will be on Thursday. Amen. 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 We'll continue now with Ashrei on page 181. We'll now return the Torah to the Ark on page 183. Just a few quick announcements for all of our viewers, joiners via Facebook Live and live stream. We are so glad that you've joined us for our service this morning. We hope that you'll join us again for Havdalah this evening at 7:45, and then again next Shabbat. We have Shabbat Live at 7 p.m. and Shabbat morning service at 9:15 a.m. The following morning. And a reminder, of course, that we'll invite you to join us only via live stream or Facebook Live and not in person. We also have Minyan on Sunday morning and weekday mornings, Monday through Friday, which will be online via live stream from Shomrei Torah at stslive.org. And we'll have daily evening Minyan, Monday through Thursday, here at Temple Aliyah at 7:15 online only at aliyahlive.org. We've also updated our homepage at templealiyah.org to help you find information a little bit more easily now that we're transitioning to this virtual environment. So you can use the links at the top and center of our homepage to get to our live stream, to get to all of our online sessions and classes, to schedule virtual meetings with Rabbi Vogel or with me, and to learn about our new weekly mindfulness class that will be offered online with Galina Shapiro, and so much more. So we encourage you to check that out and see what offerings are helpful for you. And most importantly, we want you to know that we are here for you. Our office will be open sporadically during business hours, but the best way to get in touch with us is by email if you're in need of any assistance at all during this challenging time. We wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue now with Musaf on page 184, Chatzi Kaddish. Amen. We'll begin the Musaf Amidah together on page 185.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Gomer Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol V'zocher Chasdei Avot U'mevii Goel Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Ufoked U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magei Avraham Ufoked Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayim Eitim Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed Mechayim Eitim B'Rachamim Rabim Somer Noflim B'Rofech Olim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato L'Shenei Afar Milchamocha B'Gevurot U'Mido Melach Melech Memitu Mechayem U'Matzmiach Yeshua V'Ne'eman Atah L'Hachayot Meitim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaMeitim
Amen.
Na'aritzecha v'na'akdishecha kesod tzia sarfei kodesh amati shimcha b'kodesh katuv v'yadiecha v'karaze el ze ve'amar kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvaot melech kol haaretz kevodo kevodo malei olam לדור ודור נגיד עוד לך, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, גדול וקדוש אתה.
We continue to ourselves through page 192.
Shalem, page 203.
Amen. Amen.
Page 205. seated if you're standing, and we turn now to one of the most important parts of our service that require a minyan, a community of 10 people, and we are a virtual minyan today. So for Mourner's Kaddish, many of you have perhaps tuned in to be able to recite these words of affirmation and of life for those who we remember at this time. Temple Aliyah, we remember the following individuals in the anniversary of the yorzeits of their passing. We remember Ellen Bernstein, Harriet Cosmer, Dennis Dye, Dora Elner, Samuel Gable, Lorraine Gerson, Joseph Gottberg, Morris Green, Conrad Leitner, Richard Lopata, Bertha Machuca, Rachel Minus, Pearl Sims, John Benko, Boris Brill, Nathan Friedman, Daniel Glazer, Amalia Kardish, Sarah Kushner, Muriel Mandel, Irvin Mirovich, Rachel Plata, Schiffman, Clifford Small, Anita Thorner, Sydney Ruskin, Miriam Kutz, Doris Dexter, Dorothy Friedman, Irving Goldsmith, Irving Schulman, Teresa Bazbaz, Risa Brenner, Barbara Don, Marie Carlton, Harry Lopata, Nora Page, Joseph Rosenberg, Alan Sandberg, Julia Brody, Doris Cole, Ben Diamondstein, Sydney Gerner, Philip Manick, Carl Phillip, Simon Shapiro, Goldie Slobins, Nikki Gilbert, Myron Jacobson, Benjamin Curlin, George Nikulka, Samuel Monge, Robert Parker, Harry Sampson, Harold Schwartz, Sandra Shulkoff, Adolf Human, Joseph Weiss, Hilda Bender, Esther Carlton, Francis Kubitz, Ida Dubinsky, Hetty Gorbick, and Harry Cohen. And if you're remembering somebody whose name we have not recited, just if you would, share their name aloud just so you can hear it. Memory of your mother or father or somebody else. So we're all together in this moment. And those of you who are not reciting Kaddish, you can respond to the response of Amen and Brichu. And I believe in this force of the universe that we're all going to hear those responses together. Those of you reciting Kaddish, please, if you'll join along with me. Yit Gadal, the Yit Kadash, Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yalmad, Yibrach, Yiteh, Yelech, Yalcheh, Hayechon, Yomechon, Chayeh, the whole Beit Israel, Bagalah, Bizman, Kari, Himeru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba, Borach, Ve'elam, Amei Amaya. Barach, Yishbach, Yit'ar, Yit'romam, Yit'naseh, Yit'hadar, Yit'aleh, Yit'halal, Shemei, Yekudusha, Brichu. Elah mikol birchata v'shirata, zushbehata v'nechamata, namiran v'alma v'nebru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemayim, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Israel v'nebru. Amen. Yoseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Israel v'nebru. Amen.
Amen.
The God who establishes peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel and all of humanity. We say Amen. Now, if you're at home and you're prepared to have lunch perhaps, or if you want to recite the blessings with us, now's a good time to go get your cup of wine or grape juice. And if you have halotes, traditionally we wash our hands as well. We're going to do all that together. But as we begin, just two quick announcements. One is, if you actually were watching today, send an email to us. And by the way, with any questions or comments as well, or suggestions you have for this, feel free to send them to Rabbi Galko. At Rabbi, R-E-B-B-I, Galko, but you spell it G-O-L-K-O-W at templealiyah.org. That's Rabbi Galko, templealiyah.org. Let her know you're watching. If you have any suggestions or comments as well, because we're going to try and work on this week to week. And we're going to join together now. Kiddush, you raise your cup of wine or your grape juice together. Here we go. Baraknai Yom Hashvat Gashehu Savrai.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pevi hagafel.
Amen.
Have you drink up. Now I take off the gloves because I'm going to do Netilat Yadayim. Here we go. By the way, we've been practicing safe distancing all Shabbat morning. If you noticed, that's why I feel comfortable coming to the synagogue. We spaced out appropriately. You should stay home and be careful always. And so I'm going to wash the hands for each one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishal mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen.
Lot going to, by the way, they've been sealed to make sure that they haven't touched other human hands. So I'm good taking out. Join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And we're wishing all of you Shabbat Shalom. Clergy, think of Hazan. I mean, what a spectacular, you were just yeoman's efforts. Amazing.
Everybody.
Rabbi
Everybody
Schaefer,
here.
Rabbi Galko, to be able to be with you on a Shabbat like this, to remember we're all part of a community. Even when you're isolated, we're still with you. Feel that sense of presence. We're going to finish with it. Should we Shabbat Shalom?
Absolutely.
All right.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey.
Shabbat, 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 Shabbat,
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.